Welcome to Inside Skool. We're the place where we really try to break down smart ideas, things that help you learn, help you build more effectively.
That's right. And today we're digging into something I think a lot of people wrestle with, building online communities. Not just getting members, but keeping them engaged and, well, making it fun.
Exactly, because just having people in a group isn't the same as having an active community, right?
Not at all. We found this really great YouTube video. It's from the Game of Life channel called How to Make an Online Community Fun. And it's super practical.
Yeah, it goes beyond just, general tips. It gives actual strategies.
Yeah.
So our mission today is to pull out those actionable bits.
We want to look at the foundations, like how you welcome people, how you actually teach things, and how you get people doing stuff together.
So you can actually see how to build something that, really works. And they mentioned a quick win, something you could maybe try out pretty fast.
Definitely.
Inside, we're so glad you're here. Come on inside to Inside Skool.
So shall we start at the beginning? That whole first impression, the onboarding.
Yeah, let's do it. Because the video argues that this onboarding bit, it's crucial. It's not just a welcome aboard.
Right. It really sets the stage. Think about it. Have you ever joined something online, felt kind of lost, maybe a bit overwhelmed?
Oh, for sure. And then you just fade out.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So the source contrasts that typical experience, maybe you get a welcome video, maybe nothing, with this really smart gamified thing they call a community loop.
Okay, a community loop. How does that work? Break it down for us.
So it starts super simple, just a community post, maybe pinned at the top that says, comment, start.
Just start. That's it.
That's it. And the idea is commenting is easy, right? It's way less scary for a new person than having to write a whole introduction post from scratch.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense. Low barrier. So they comment start. Then what?
Then, boom, an automatic DM pops up, and it has a link to a second post.
Okay. Leading them along, what's in post number 2?
That one asked for the intro, who are you, what do you do, standard stuff, but then there's a click for step 2 link.
Okay. Where does step 2 take you?
It goes to a meet the team section. But here's the really clever bit doing that. It also shows them where the classroom tab is on the platform.
So you're teaching them how to navigate without telling them you're teaching them. They're just finding the team info.
Precisely. It's learning by doing. Then step 3 takes them to another classroom section just to reinforce how to find the learning stuff.
It's like a little guided tour, but you're clicking through it yourself. Very smart. What about the final step? You mentioned a game.
Yeah. The final step to unlock this mystery gift is to actually play whatever the community game is for that week.
Okay, I like that. It pushes them into interacting, right? Not just with the platform, but with other people.
Exactly. Because as the video points out, if everyone's just talking to the leader, that's not really a community, is it? This gets them playing together.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
And the mystery gift, is it just like a badge or something? They've mentioned messaging someone named Leon.
Right. So after the game, they message Leon. That's not just about the gift. It lets the organizers know who's actually finished the onboarding.
Tracking completion.
Yeah, and it's a chance to check in, see if they're stuck, offer some personalized help if they need it. It catches confusion early.
Which is huge, because confusion leads to people just giving up and leaving.
Totally. If those first steps feel confusing or like too much work, people just disengage. This whole loop thing makes it feel more like, well, a game, step by step. Rewarding.
So it's intentional design for that first experience, making it easy, making it engaging.
Exactly that. Get them comfortable, get them clicking around, get them talking a little bit.
Okay, great start. So people are onboarded, they feel welcome, they kind of know their way around. What about the actual learning part, the classroom?
Right, the classroom.
All right.
But the way they frame it is interesting. It's not like school, not passive learning.
You mean not just watching a bunch of videos like you might on YouTube?
Yeah. Exactly. It's framed more around transformation, achieving a specific result. It's less like a library, more like a workshop focused on action.
So there needs to be a clear goal, like a destination.
Yeah, they talk about having a clear roadmap with an end mission, kind of like a game objective, What are we actually trying to achieve here together?
And the classroom content guides you along that path. Yeah. Is it just videos and text?
Well, it can be, but the emphasis is on action items within each step, not just consume, but do. Maybe it's a simple 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 step roadmap, just as an example structure.
Okay, a clear path with steps. And they mentioned something about qualifying members. What's that about?
Yeah, that's about understanding where someone's starting from. Maybe they already know the basics.
They don't have to sit through level 1 if they're already at, say, level 3.
Exactly. They might be able to jump ahead. It makes the journey more relevant to them. And it creates this other cool dynamic.
Which is
The more experienced members, the level 8s they called them, they can actually help the newer folks.
like peer mentoring.
Sort of. And when you teach something, you actually learn it better yourself, right?
Yeah.
So it reinforces the knowledge for the experienced people, too. It builds this really nice cycle of learning.
I really like that. It moves away from just the guru at the top doling out information. Everyone's involved in learning.
Totally. And that peer feedback, people commenting on each other's work or progress, that's what makes it a community, not just a broadcast channel like, typical social media.
Good point. What else makes the classroom effective?
Having a really solid foundational course is important, something everyone can refer back to. It creates a shared baseline, so it's not just based on what the leader said in a comment last Tuesday.
A reliable source of truth within the community. Makes sense. And what about keeping things fresh? They mentioned calls.
Yeah, topic-based calls. But not just boring Q&As. The idea is to share new stuff, maybe remind people why they're there, what the value is.
And give those knowledgeable members a chance to share their expertise.
Exactly. Let them teach a session. It reinforces that idea of the community owner being more of a guide than a guru.
Pointing the way, facilitating, using their experience, but not being the only source of knowledge.
Right. It's about empowering the members on their journey.
Okay, so we've got a smooth onboarding and action-focused classroom. What's the third piece?
The
Calendar.
Yeah, the calendar. This is where the community comes together to do things. It shifts from mostly individual learning in the classroom to collective action and interaction.
So moving beyond just passive stuff like Q&A calls.
Right. The video pushes towards more active workshops, things where people are actually working on something together during the call or event.
Taking the classroom knowledge and applying it, but as a group. Builds accountability, I guess.
Definitely. Shared experience, accountability strengthens the bonds. You're not just learning alone anymore.
Okay, onboarding, classroom, calendar. Those seem like really solid pillars. But the source also zoomed out a bit, right? Look at the bigger picture.
It did. It sort of asked us to think about the fundamental type of community or the type of game, as they put it, that's being played.
What do you mean, type of game?
Well, is it more like a story-based game? With a clear beginning, middle, and end? A specific transformation journey with a defined outcome?
Like everyone's working towards graduating or launching something specific.
Could be. Or is it more like a role-playing game, something ongoing where members can keep engaging, exploring different things, deepening connections over a long time, maybe taking on different roles?
So one has a finish line. The other is more about continuous participation and evolution.
Kind of, yeah. And understanding which model fits best really influences how you design that onboarding, the classroom structure, the calendar events, everything.
That really makes you think about the long-term purpose, doesn't it? What's the ultimate experience you're trying to craft? It's more than just features on a platform.
It's about designing that whole journey, which leads to a good question for you listening right now. What kind of game are the communities you're in? Or the ones you might want to build? Thinking about that underlying structure, it could really change how you approach things, right? How you make it engaging.
Definitely looking beyond just the surface level. So wrapping this up, we've hit on some really practical stuff from that Game of Life video.
Yeah, the big takeaways seem to be gamify that onboarding to make it easy and active. Build a classroom focused on action and results, not just info dumping.
And use that calendar for real collaborative engagement. Workshops over just webinars.
And remembering that building a fun, effective community, it doesn't just happen. It takes real intentional design. You got to think about that member journey constantly.
Absolutely. So maybe the final thought to leave you with is that one we just touched on. Thinking about these elements, onboarding, classroom, calendar, what kind of game do you really envision for your community spaces? And how could you help make that experience more engaging, more transformative for everyone?
Yeah, something to chew on. We'd definitely be interested in any reflections you have on that. Thanks for joining us for this deep dive on Inside Skool.